Hello, today we're heading to Galveston. And to be honest, before going there, I thought Galveston was basically just a beach town. You drive down, see the ocean, spend some time on the beach, and head back home. But when I finally visited, I realized there was a lot more to this little island than I expected. Galveston is a historic island city on the Gulf Coast of Texas, about 50 miles southeast of Houston. Only around 50,000 people live here, so compared with Houston, it's a very small city. But once you arrive, especially on a busy weekend or during the summer, it definitely doesn't feel that small. One thing I really like about coming here is the drive itself. When you leave Houston, everything feels familiar at first: highways, traffic, buildings, but as you get closer to Galveston, the surroundings slowly start to change. And then comes my favorite part, that first moment when you get onto the island and start seeing the water. Even though Galveston is so close to Houston, suddenly you feel like you've actually gone somewhere. The atmosphere is different. You see people heading to the beach, restaurants along the coast, hotels, palm trees, and of course the Gulf right next to you. But something else surprised me about Galveston. It feels old, and I mean that in a good way. You can tell that this is a city with a history. Galveston was officially incorporated in 1839, and during the 1800s, it became one of the most important ports and commercial centers in Texas because of its location on the Gulf of Mexico. Shipping and trade played a huge role in the growth of the city. Knowing that actually changed the way I looked at some of the older buildings later in the day. They're not there just to make the city look historic. Some of them have been standing here for more than a century, and Galveston has also been through some incredibly difficult times. In 1900, a massive hurricane hit the island. Thousands of people lost their lives, making it the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. When I learned about that, the seawall suddenly became much more interesting to me. Because when you visit today, you might just see this long road beside the beach with people walking, driving, eating, and enjoying their vacation. But the seawall was actually built after that disaster to help protect the city from future storms. Today, Seawall Boulevard is probably one of the most recognizable parts of Galveston, and personally, I think driving along the seawall is one of the nicest parts of visiting the island. You have the Gulf on one side, and on the other side you have hotels, restaurants, little shops, and different attractions. You can just drive, look at the water, stop whenever you find an interesting spot, and continue exploring. Now, I have to mention something about the beaches. If you're coming here expecting crystal clear blue Caribbean water and perfectly white sand, Galveston might surprise you. That was something I noticed too. The water here has a different color, and the beaches have a very different look from places like Florida. But after spending some time here, I realized that comparing Galveston to those destinations kind of misses the point. For me, the best thing about Galveston is how accessible it is. You can wake up in Houston in the morning, decide you want to see the ocean, and about an hour later, you can be standing right here listening to the waves. Sometimes you don't need a perfect tropical beach, you just want to get away from the city. Feel the wind, walk next to the water, and have a different kind of day. And Galveston gives you exactly that. The island has more than 30 miles of beaches, and depending on what kind of experience you want, you have several options. There's Stewart Beach, which is one of the popular family-friendly beaches, East Beach, which usually has a more active atmosphere and hosts different events, and Galveston Island State Park if you want something that feels a little quieter and closer to nature. But this is where Galveston surprised me again. Another fun thing about Galveston is that you can rent different kinds of golf carts and small vehicles to explore the island, with hourly or daily rental options available. And if you want to stay longer, there are plenty of vacation homes and beach houses around the island, including places close to the beach. Galveston also has its own seaside amusement park, the Galveston Island Historic Pleasure Pier, with rides and games right over the Gulf. Galveston Island Historic Pleasure Pier. So you can easily spend a full weekend here, stay near the beach, explore the island, enjoy the rides, and just have fun without having to go far. Galveston also has plenty of other attractions to enjoy. You can spend the day at a water park, visit different museums around the island, or explore places like Moody Gardens with its aquarium and rainforest attractions. There are also historic museums, beautiful old homes, and maritime attractions where you can learn more about Galveston's history and its connection to the sea. So whether you're looking for beaches, water activities, amusement rides, museums, or just a relaxing weekend by the Gulf, Galveston has a little bit of everything. Galveston also has a fun nightlife scene with bars, restaurants, and live music in different parts of the island. Throughout the year, you can also find festivals, special events, and seasonal celebrations if you're planning a trip. I've included the official Galveston website in the description below, where you can check upcoming events and see what's happening during your visit. There's actually a completely different side of the island that has almost nothing to do with spending a day at the beach. Galveston is also an important center for medicine and education. The University of Texas Medical Branch, or UTMB, is located right here on the island. It was established in 1891 and today it's a major academic medical center with programs in medicine, nursing, health professions, public health, and biomedical sciences. Galveston is also home to Texas A&M University at Galveston, which has a strong connection to the ocean with programs related to marine science, engineering, and maritime studies. I think that's one of the interesting things about this city. You can be driving next to people in swimsuits heading to the beach, and just a short distance away you have major universities, hospitals, researchers, and students going about their normal day. Then you have the Port of Galveston. The port has been an important part of the island for generations, but today there's another reason many people know it: cruise ships. Seeing one of those enormous cruise ships in person is completely different from seeing it in a picture. Sometimes you're driving around the harbor and suddenly there's basically a floating building city and next to you. And there are plenty of tourist attractions around the island too. One of the easiest to spot is the Galveston Island Historic Pleasure Pier. It stretches out over the Gulf with rides, games, food, and views of the coastline. There's also Moody Gardens, which you can recognize immediately because of its huge glass pyramids inside. There are attractions including an aquarium and a rainforest, but surprisingly, one of my favorite parts of Galveston isn't actually the beach or one of the big attractions. It's downtown. The first time I started exploring downtown Galveston, I wasn't really expecting much. I thought we might drive around for a few minutes, see some shops, and move on. But the atmosphere completely changes when you get there. Suddenly, instead of beaches and hotels, you're surrounded by old buildings, colorful storefronts, cafes, restaurants, galleries, and historic streets. The Strand Historic District is probably the best known part of downtown, and some of the buildings here date all the way back to the 19th century. Sometimes the places you remember most aren't necessarily the famous attractions. It might be a random street you decide to walk down, an old building you weren't expecting to see, a small cafe, or just that feeling of discovering a part of the city you knew nothing about before arriving. Galveston also has some beautiful historic landmarks, including the 1892 Bishop's Palace, one of the most impressive historic homes on the island. And by this point in the day, my original impression of Galveston had completely changed. I came here thinking, beach town near Houston. But Galveston is actually this interesting mixture of completely different things. You have beaches in the Gulf of Mexico. You have a city that dates back to the 1800s. You have beautiful historic buildings. You have universities and a major medical center. You have a working port with enormous cruise ships, and then you have restaurants, museums, tourist attractions, and neighborhoods where people actually live their everyday lives. And maybe that's what I like most about Galveston. It doesn't feel like you have to follow a strict plan when you come here. You can drive along the coast, stop at the beach for a while, grab something to eat, walk around downtown, watch the cruise ships, discover an old building, and just see where the day takes you. And that's pretty much what we're doing today. We spent some time along the coast, and now we're leaving the beach behind. Today, we spent some time by the beach, explored downtown Galveston, and had one of the best ice creams we've ever tasted. And now it's time to head home, because I have a cat who always waits for me whenever I go out. So, I think it's time to get back to my little one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've ever been to Galveston, let me know about your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear what you liked the most and what your favorite place was. And if you enjoyed coming along with me today, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. See you in the next adventure.